Well, hello there, and a very warm welcome to the Love Audio YouTube channel once again. Thank you very much. My name is Paul Webber. Good to have you along. Hey, listen, if you're new here, then please do let me know. Put, new in the comments. If you're slightly new, not quite new, then also stick your comments in the comments box as well. Let me know where you're from, and we'll get into it very shortly. My name is Paul Webber from Love Audio. It's good to have you along today. We're going to get right into it very shortly. We're going to be talking about multi-track audio production. See you in a bit. Love Audio. All right. So, what is multi-track production? Well, some DAWs, and let me just go to my desktop and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Most DAWs have multi-tracks, or you can just have a single track. Audacity, for instance, when you first open that up, comes out as one particular track. But most DAWs, you're able to multi-track as well. And even in DAWs like Audacity, which of course is free. And the one that I use is Presonus Studio One Professional. Now that is... Are you able to create multiple tracks? So I'm going to go to a project that I was setting up this morning. This is going live tomorrow in Bristol. So I just wanted to go over this particular project with you, show you what's going on, and we'll go in depth and show you the different tracks that I came up with as well, okay? So what we have here is a multi-track kind of setup. If I expand some of these, we'll be able to see what's going on. So we've got effects here. We've got cheers, and we've got music as well. The music was supplied not by myself, by the way, but AN Other production house, and the client has agreed it and everything else, and it's all right for broadcast. So that's cool. What I'm going to do is unmute these tracks here, because when I create a mix down of this particular project, what it does, it freezes these tracks. There we go. So I unmute those. And I'm just going to mute the mix down, which is the final mix, and I'll play you that right at the end, okay? So, without further ado, let's find out who's in the house and who isn't. Hi to, let me have a look here. We've got Sammy, Studio Geek 32 in the house. Peter is in the house from Swindon. Hello to you. Rich Vibes in Exeter, slightly worn but in good working order. Well, that's good to know. Let's have a look here. Dan in Swindon. I don't know if you're still in Swindon. You were certainly in Wales the last time we spoke. You get about a bit, Dan, don't you? But hi to you. Hi to Matt Haas from All Things YouTube from the United States. New Jersey as well is where Sammy is from this evening. So thank you very much for joining me. It's a real pleasure to have you guys along. And I thank you so much for... just for showing up basically and hanging out with me while we do a bit of audio production. If you have any questions, by the way, as we're going along, I'll keep referring to the list there and try and get those answered as we move forward. All right, but like I say, without further ado, let's get into it. So we're looking at the audio production here now. The start and end time are that basically between those two markers at the top there. That's 40 seconds. Okay, I've got a kind of zoom tool so I can zoom in there. So you see at the top there is the start position and an end position. And when I mix out those tracks down to one particular track, that whole thing is exactly 40 seconds. And we'll go over that very shortly indeed. Okay, I'm just going to close that down because it gets quite annoying after a while. And also it's eating up my reserves. But let's crack on with it. So what we've got over here is some audio tracks. I'm going to mute these and we'll go over one by one. Let's have a look here. So the music itself, you can have a quick listen to that. If I solo that and we play that. Guess what? Ashton Gates Sports Bar. There we go. I forgot to mute my voice as well. So that was quite interesting. Let's have a look here. Hang on. Let's have a look. Let's open up that. In my headphones, it sounds like your mic is overloading a bit. Yeah, it might well be, actually. Thanks for letting me know, Sammy. I'm just going to bring that down a little bit. Hopefully that's not too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I might be because I'm shouting as well, and it's peaking on the desk. So, yeah, I'll just bring that back a bit so it's not quite so hot. So, yeah, what we've got at the top here is the microphone.
Guess what? Ashton Gates Sports Bar and Pizzeria has now reopened. That's right, in partnership with Bristol's Pizza Workshop, they are once again serving great pizza. Not only that, you can enjoy televised sport.
So what we're doing is we're getting some of these in now. So venues are starting to kind of open up a bit more and, you know, kind of getting used to reopening and things like that. So they want commercials on the radio station to let people know that they're open and that, you know, they're open for business, but they're using social distancing. They're having, you know, markers up, that kind of thing. They're cleaning it regularly. There'll be less people in the venues, of course, but certainly that's what people are doing at the moment, which is pretty cool. So that's the voice track I've got, and that's the booth mic. That's the Marshall MXL 2001, which is on track 2 there. Track 3 I've muted because it's the desk mic, which is the one I'm talking into right now. You don't need to hear that. And then if I unsolo that and then just solo this particular track down here, I've got some effects because the client stipulated that they wanted some kind of effect going on. So what I've got on this particular track, in fact, let's zoom into this one here first, because if I solo my voice and the effect, you should be able to hear both of those.
Guess what? Ashton Gates Sports Bar and Pizzeria has now reopened.
That's not that one, it's this one.
Guess what? Ashton Gates Sports Bar and Pizzeria has now reopened. That's right, in partnership with...
And the sound effects I'm using, by the way, are from Epidemic Sound. And if you look at the link in the description of this video, you'll find that there is a link to a free 30-day trial of Epidemic Sound. And you can download sound effects, you can download music. For instance, this particular track, which you heard on the countdown, of course, that's also Epidemic Sound. So yeah, it's a great place to go, and you can get so many different sound effects. I've also got a different kind of cheer thing at the end here. So this is multi-track recording.
Open on Thursdays, Fridays and Saturdays from 6 p.m. Visit ashtongatestadium.co.uk.
And so that's that one. And then finally, right at the end here, you'll hear this.
Open on Thursdays, Fridays and Saturdays from 6 p.m.
So there's like a referee's whistle there. That's what that stick-looking thing is on track 7, if you're looking at it, which is that one I've just highlighted there, okay? And then, of course, you've got the mix down as well. So let's unsolo all of this and unmute the stuff that we want to get back into the mix. Let's just untrack that. That's it. And then we're going to mute the final track. We don't need to hear that. And we're going to return to 0, which is where we need to be. So if I play the whole thing now, you have a listen to the whole thing, including the music. Now, what I've done for the music track here on track 4 is I've put an automation curve in there. So what it does, it dips the music. But I've also, if you look at the mix as well itself, I've put a compressor on the music track, and that, if I go to edit, as you can see, has got a side chain, and the side chain that I'm using is picking up the booth mic. So the booth mic is triggering the music to dip it when it comes in, which is pretty cool. So let's do that down. And Sammy says, "Is that you doing the voiceover?" Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is. Let's have a listen to the whole thing. Here we go.
Guess what? Ashton Gates Sports Bar and Pizzeria has now reopened. That's right, in partnership with Bristol's Pizza Workshop, they are once again serving great pizza. Not only that, you can enjoy televised sport on the UK's largest indoor pub screen. They're making it extra easy to come and join them, with free parking available and indoor and outdoor seating. They're open on Thursdays, Fridays and Saturdays from 6 p.m. Visit ashtongatestadium.co.uk for more details. Looking forward to welcoming you back.
There we go. So that's exactly 40 seconds. Now, what happens is that when you mix it down, so you highlight all of those particular tracks, and then you click Mix Down Selection, and when that happens, what you end up with is this particular track here. So this is the mix down of the whole thing.
Guess what? Ashton Gates Sports Bar and Pizzeria has now reopened. That's right, in partnership with Bristol's Pizza Workshop, they are once again serving great pizza. Not only that, you can enjoy...
So, excuse me. What I wanted to point out there was the fact that you know, the music's being dipped just enough so it's creating an impact underneath the voiceover as well, but the sound effects aren't drowning it out either. So it's all kind of very, very, very much balanced in the mix, which is cool. Now, I was talking earlier on about the fact that, you know, most DAWs, that's digital audio workstations, have got the opportunity for you to add tracks very easily to do. So what you do at this particular software, which is the Presonus Studio One Professional, 4.6 by the way, I'm about to upgrade to 5, and I'm going to do a whole new tutorial video on that as we explore it together, but that won't be until probably the 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th of July, which I think is a Monday. I'm not sure. I haven't got my calendar in front of me. In fact, I have got a calendar in front of me. Let me have a look. Hang on. It'll be the Monday after that particular week. So it's the 27th of July. So on that particular session, so in a couple of weeks' time, we'll jump on and we'll have a look at that together. Okay. What's today? 13th. Yeah. So 20th next week we'll do a different one, but the 27th will be one to highlight Studio One 5, which is their latest version of this brilliant software. So with that in mind, put that in your diary, and if you want to find out more about it, of course, then join me, won't you? So yeah, to add a track, going back to this particular thing, so you go to track at the top here and you just click add track. Now that could be a blank track, but if you wanted to be a bit more specific, you could add a mono voiceover track if you wanted to, or you could add a stereo audio track. The good thing about that is you can pan voices left and right. So if, let's say for instance, I was doing a double header on this particular commercial with maybe a female voiceover perhaps, then my voice could be panned very slightly to the left and her voice could be panned very slightly to the right. Not too much, because you've got to think about it. When you're listening to a radio commercial, there are lots of other things going on in the background, so you don't really pay attention to all of that kind of toing and froing in the stereo field. But it does help, like if you're driving along in a car, for instance, you can then hear that separation, that kind of left-right separation, when you do pan it left and right as well. So yeah, you can add an audio track. You can also add an instrument track as well to this particular software. The good thing about that is the MIDI keyboard then is plugged into the computer, which is running the whole show, and you can play audio notes and MIDI notes via the MIDI keyboard. Studio One 5, just a bit of a heads up, Studio One 5 software allows you to use plugins, okay, different instruments and things, in a live scenario. So you can take your computer or laptop on the road with you, have an instance of Studio 1 brackets 5 lined up on the PC or laptop, and you can use it to trigger a live performance with the keyboard. How cool is that? Just amazing. And on all of the things that come with it as well, you can record the whole thing. You can record a multi-track session as well using the capture software that comes with Studio One. It's just amazing. So anyway, going back to this, you can add an automation track as well. So if you wanted to automate a volume control, let's say, you can automate panning left and right. You can also automate parts of an instrument as well. So maybe there's an oscillator or a piece of the synthesizer that you want to automate rather than having to do it with your fingers and thumbs, for instance, in the software itself. You can actually automate those things. I've never tried that. That's got to be a new tutorial for a few weeks' time, I reckon. But let's get Studio One 5 into the computer on the 27th. And then we'll take a bigger look at the whole thing, all right? So that's how you add tracks as well, okay? You can add a bus. Now, what is a bus? Well, a bus gets you from one place to the other, right? But in audio cases, if you add a bus, let's say, for instance, you were miking up a band, for instance, and you had 5 or 6 microphones just listening to the drums. You might send all of those signals to a drum bus, and that bus then you can control the volume of all of the drums at the same time. So you get your rough mix sorted out on the mixing desk, which of course is down there. You can just see the corner of it. And then you can adjust the fader, and that will adjust. Oh my goodness! It was funny because Matt Huss was talking about that last week. Somebody's camera just disappeared off the edge of the cliff. That is hilarious. It's okay. I didn't fall. It was just the camera. Oh dear God. Well, that's never happened before. There we go. Okay. It's just on a very flimsy stand, and I just want it to kind of sit properly without tipping over. My gosh, that was hilarious. Sorry about that. Anyway, so that's what a bus is for, basically. All right, am I on? I'm a bit low, aren't I? Hang on. There we go. I don't want it to fall backwards again, which is looking like it might do. How's that? Keep that steady. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the desk. Anybody laughs, you're in trouble. Nobody laughed. That's amazing. I can't believe that. Yeah, things happen to try us, don't they? That was hilarious. So anyway, that was kind of showing you the multi-track mix that I've got here for this particular commercial. That's on air tomorrow in Bristol for the Ashton Gate Stadium. So they're reopening, not to masses and masses of people. Thank you, Sammy. Rich says, biting my lip. Yeah. Has that ever happened to you on your live sets, Rich? Thanks very much. Good grief. That was very, very embarrassing. Very, very embarrassing indeed. Hang on. Let's just put some messages up here. Hang on a second. Let's get that up there. Very cool. Thank you very much. Rich says, biting his lip. Yep, thank you. Now I do not see your face. Yeah, I've adjusted it now. So hopefully you should do, Sammy, okay? Back in the frame. Back in the frame. Oh dear gosh, that was very, very embarrassing indeed. Whatever you do, make sure you get the your camera to be on a proper tripod stand, not on a flimsy thing like I've got. This thing is like, it's got like spirally legs, 3 legs like a tripod, but they're all kind of bendy. But you can wrap them around things, and it's actually quite cool. So I've just got it set on the desk. So it's just high enough so I'm in the frame, and then high enough so it can kind of see the mixing desk as well. Because every time I have it up here, I'm kind of straining, going, yeah. It's much better where it is. It's brilliant. So yeah, if you've got any questions about audio production, do drop me a note in the comments. Love to hear from you, of course. Rich says, as I always say after, it happens sometimes. Yeah. In my case, more often than not, which is very, very embarrassing indeed. Oh gosh, we're back. We're back. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that kind of mini tutorial on multi-track recording. This particular software, as I say, I really, really do like it. And you know, the mixer side of it can be a bit daunting. So you're looking at this, you're going, my gosh, how do you work that? And what's it all about? Well, basically, you can choose what to show in the windows here. So you've got inputs. That's my voice coming up on channel 1 and 2. You've got outputs, of course, which are there at the far end. You've got external, so if you've got things plugged in, like the remote control and the master key, which is the keyboard behind me, then that will show in that particular window as well. You've got instruments, so you've got any instrument tracks lined up there. You'll have those in a list there as well, which you can easily edit. And yeah, it's all pretty cool. Browser window, that lets you bring in effects. You can drag these onto any channel that you wanted to, and help it manipulate the sound as well. So you've got delays, you've got analog delays, you've got things like distortion and dynamics, compressor, for instance, an expander. You've got a gate on there as well if you needed it, and you've got limiter. I've got a limiter across the main output so that it's not going to clip when it goes out for broadcast. Okay, which is cool. Sammy says, very cool. Thank you very much, Sammy. That's nice of you to say so. I know that you are into your audio production, which is pretty cool as well. And hence that's why you're on the stream, I guess. Yeah. And also let us know, by the way, in the comments, what kind of setup you might have at your place. Let's have a look here. I used Studio One like 4 times on my streaming PC. but do all of my recordings on my iMac with Logic Pro X. Yeah, so so I've obviously heard about that. Let's bring that back in again. Beg your pardon. But I've never actually used it because I've been mainly doing it with a PC for most of my kind of recording career and everything else. Always used a PC. But I know that, you know, Macs are very stable. Logic Pro is a really, really strong, you know, piece of software. So, you know, I imagine you've got some good results out of that, which is pretty cool. By the way, for those of you who don't know who I am, you should do, hopefully by now. My name is Paul Webber. My company is Love Audio. Passionate about production, be that making commercials like you've just seen, or whether it's voiceover work, or whether it's video narration, as a couple of videos in my YouTube channel you'll find there talking about video narration as well, which is pretty cool. Getting some more of that work coming in now, so that's pretty good, and you know, hopefully be able to show you that alongside the video that we match the words up to as well, which will be pretty good. Good. So yeah, let us know if you're just popping on. It says all of my life is on Mac, says Sammy. Yeah, well done. Dan says I'm still old school and use Cool Edit Pro. Yeah, Cool Edit Pro is good. Is that similar or the same as Adobe Audition? Didn't they rename it? I'm pretty sure they did rename it, Dan. If they did, just let us know in the comments. Matt says, I'm hunger for pizza now. Wow. Of course, it must be tea time where you are, isn't it? What is it now? 8:20 here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3 in the afternoon. Hungry for pizza. Matt, really? Not yet. Hunger for pizza. Hungry, he says afterwards, which is cool. What's this? Hang on. Sorry. Let's cancel that. So Sammy says, I got my streaming PC less than 1 year ago, so PC is very new to me. So you've got both options then, Sammy, which is interesting. Dan says, yes, Cool Edit Pro is now Adobe Audition. I thought it was. Yeah, thanks very much for that, Dan, for the clarification on that. I'm pretty sure that they renamed it. Matt says, yes, I am hungry for pizza. That's good. I was lucky enough to have sweet chili salmon, little tiny salmon fillets. And here's a tip, by the way, bit of a tip if you're after some cookery advice. Not that I'm in. It's just going to go again, isn't it? Hang on. Let me put that leg back there so it doesn't topple over the edge. Yeah, so if you're doing... Ah! This is not going to work, is it? And now one of the legs has dropped off. Can you believe that? That's not supposed to happen. This is hilarious. Sammy says, I learned GarageBand when I was 2 years old. That was a long time ago. Yeah, well, no doubt. And I think I've just broken this. Look, that's not good, is it? That really is not good. I'm going to have to hold on to the camera for the rest of the show. That's not... I really need some studio monitors. A mixer without speakers is a challenge. Yeah, it is. But if you've got a decent set of headphones, Matt, then not a problem. The ones I use, if I can just turn this around. Let me have a look, see what I'm pointing at. Yeah, so these are the M Audio speakers that I've got. I don't need to show you the other side because the cable. Why can't I? Yeah, there we go. So that's the M Audio over that side and that side. So good. And what you need to do is position them high enough so they're on a stand. It's on a flat stand like that, which you can adjust for the height. But what you need to do, and please bear with me while I try and balance my camera. This is obviously not good cricket. Is it going to stay there? Sorry, I will get this sorted, guys. Honestly, that's not going to stay there, is it? Okay, let me put you over here. This hopefully should stay here. Right, let's have a look. I am sorry about this. This doesn't normally happen. Is it that bad? I want speakers with a typical white woofer cone. No, it's like having white wall tyres. It's a gimmick. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a gimmick, but it's not a problem to want those kind of things. Sorry about this, guys. This is just ridiculous. Hang on. I'm just going to have to hold it, aren't I? Whew, never expected that. I forgot what I was going to say. I've completely forgotten my train of thought. What were we talking about? Speakers, weren't we? Let me just close this down, the software. I don't need to hold that in place any longer. It's hard to hear you now. Yeah, it's because the mic is not in front of me. How's that? How's that, Sammy? Is that any better? Can you get closer to your mic? Yes, thank you very much. There we go. It's just, these things are sent to try us, but the idea is that you just keep going, blindly keep going, don't you? And don't let it phase you. That's the idea. But I can't do two things at once with one finger. So let me return to my production and I'll whiz that over that side so I can see what I'm doing, which is pretty cool. Sounds good. Good. Glad to hear it. Hang on a second. Studio Geek 32. Sammy says, my studio peacemakers. I have the HS8. I've never heard of that, to be fair. I'm going to look it up after the stream. Rich says, legless again. Thank you. Cheers then. Thank you very much for your support. Much appreciated. And again, I've completely lost my train of thought. So, hang on. Let's do this. I'm going to put these comments. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering, says Rich. Thank you. Go. Matt says, is it bad that I want speakers with the... Wait a minute. Come back in. Excuse me. Thank you very much. It says, it's bad that I want speakers with the typical white woofer cone. Yeah, they do look good. There are some really nice yellow ones that I've seen that I like, and I can't remember the name of them. But anyway, yeah, there's some really good ones out there. You can pay a lot of money for decent monitor speakers, to be honest with you. But when you're playing stuff back, the thing is, what you don't want to do is have the mic pick up the volume that's coming out of the speakers. So, for instance, if I was playing the music track that I've got on here from my button, I can fade it up and down. I can talk over it like that. And I can bring it back in and bring it back up and that kind of thing. But what you don't want to do is have it too loud so that the microphone is picking up whatever's coming out of the speakers, because that's when you're going to get feedback. And that's why I've got the microphone placed where it is. And it's right in front of the other monitor there on that side. All right, but the volume is such that it's not causing any feedback. So it's pretty cool. Stop that for a minute. I don't know if Becky and Tom are on stream, but I know they always like a quick jingle or two.
Love Audio.
What can I say? Jingle geek. Rich Vibe says rockets are an industry standard. Yeah, that's the yellow ones, I think, isn't it, Rich? Pretty sure it is. Matt says $300 or less is the budget. Wow. Okay, you can get a decent set of speakers for that. I know for sure. Which is pretty cool. There we go. Send that over to there. Do you like the comments thing, by the way? I struggled to get these to come in properly, so I completely redesigned it this week and have it come in on the side, and got like a speech bubble there, which is quite cool, I think. So let me just take a quick look at that. What was that, Sammy? So I've two sets of speakers. One is Yamaha NS10s. They're nice. And also the Yamaha HS8. Yeah, under the desk, you can't see it, but obviously on the studio tour that we did last week, you may remember that I've got the Yamaha subwoofer. And that's been great for when I'm doing a production and I need some really kind of low end. I want to make sure that those, the bass notes are really coming through there. So I'm glad I invested in that. Let's have a look here. So Matt says, I was thinking about the Yamaha HS8 or maybe even the HS6 as a speaker choice. Yeah, that sounds like a good option. What else we got? It's pretty cool. Thanks for hanging out, by the way. I'm going to kind of wrap things up in a few minutes' time. I don't want to bore you to death with my holding the camera like a steady cam. Is it called a gimbal? The thing that kind of you can hold it and move it around and the camera stays perfectly still like that. Yeah? That's what I need. But I also need some proper stands and, get it properly fixed because this thing is just... I think I have bust it because that looks like it's snapped, doesn't it? The thing was only £5, UK pounds, so I'm not too bothered about it. Now, we shouldn't get onto mics because I have a lot of mics. Yeah, Sammy, I know for a fact that watching some of your streams and your videos prior, you've certainly got a lot of those microphones, and one for each day of the week, I think, haven't you? I've got this one, which is the Icon. I can turn it around so you can see the badge. That's the Icon C14. Now, this is a large diaphragm microphone. Again, guys, I'm trying to do this with one hand, so please excuse me if there's a hell of a noise and this falls over, which it shouldn't do, but... I should mute it, shouldn't I? Hang on. There we go. So, so this is the Icon C14. This is it without its windshield on. This is just a branded windshield, like that. So it's lined inside. And it's got the brand on both sides. It's just a bit of a gimmick, really, for the studio. I don't really need it that much because I've got a separate pop shield which you put in front of it. So a pop shield, as you know, if you've been in the industry long enough, you go pop, 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 pop like that. That picks up the P's and the F's and the S's that go over the top of the diaphragm. So you're going to pick those up. Rebecca says, yeah, Tom's at work tonight, Paul. Yes, we love the jingles. All right. Well, as a special treat to you, here's another one. Paul Weber. I know she likes that one. That's the Dallas Shout with effects. Peter from Swindon says Mac Life. Yeah, I know. And, one day I'll get one. My partner's got a MacBook Pro. No, is it MacBook Pro? Yeah, MacBook Pro. I bought him for Christmas or birthday. I can't remember which is pretty cool. 2019 version. But I've never tried any of this particular software or Ecamm, by the way. If you're on Mac, you use Ecamm to go live with and stuff. If you're on a PC, it's vMix, which is that on that monitor there. Okay. Good tripod for $20, says Sammy. Really? Okay. Well, I'll have to have a look for that. I mean, sometimes I put it on a microphone stand, but the problem with that is I can't angle it. So it's either fixed upright like that, or I tilt it down and that's exactly where it stays. So I could do with something that's kind of flexible in the middle just there, which is where I used to have it. But like I say, this stand thing, I've got to take it off and show you. This is hilarious. Hang on, let me just unwind it. Oh dear, I'm never buying this again. I mean, luckily, it was only cheap. But look. Do you see what I mean? So these are flexible and they grip stuff, which is great. But I think I've overworked one of its 3 legs, and it's come out of its thing. I may be able to fix it. I don't know, but it's cheap and cheerful, and it's got that thing on the end which goes into the bottom of the camera. So that kind of works for me. There we go. That's now redundant. I'm now holding you in like you would a camcorder because that's exactly what it is. Hang on. Can't do that, can I? If I do that, will it see itself? No, of course it won't, because it's not a mirror, you fool. But you know what I mean. It's just it's one of those. Right, where are we? By the way, here we go. Hang on. Rich says, by the way, thanks for the jingles again. Played about with them for the show yesterday. Yeah, I missed it yesterday. Why did I miss that? I didn't get a reminder from your channel, Rich. I don't know why. Maybe I have to investigate that and make sure I get reminded that you're going to go live, and then I can join the stream again. Sammy says, first of all, Sammy says, I have 3 AKG mics, 15 Shure, I think, and many... Oh my gosh, that's loads. I mean, I've got a Shure microphone, back here. So this is the SM58. It is, I've got a USB thing on the end of it, but it is an XLR mic. So that's a USB adapter that goes into it. But that's a really good mic as well. I sometimes use that when I'm DJing. But I've got a couple of radio mics that I use for DJing as well. And there's that one, as I say. And there's one in the booth, which is the Marshall MXL 2001. And I've had that for absolutely ages. Let's have a look. Matt says he's got an Heel. Is it Heel? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Heel PR40 is Matt's microphone. That sounds pretty cool. And I've seen it on your streams, Matt. It looks the business. And you've got that tiny little windshield, that pop shield in front of it, which I think looks really cool. Sammy says, I've got a lot of SM58s. Why? Why have you got so many? Did you break them? Have you got a secret BTS band that we don't know about? Huh? What you're not telling us, Sammy? That's what we need to know. Are you going out on the road with a load of schoolmates? Doing some gigs? All right, look, because my arm's going to ache if I'm holding this up for any longer. So I'm going to say cheerio, but thanks so much for everybody joining the stream tonight. I'm sorry we had a bit of camera chaos. Hope you didn't mind. It was a bit of fun, wasn't it? And we talked about, multi-track recording in the DAW, which is cool. Dan says, I want to get a TLM 103. Yeah, you and me both, mate. But those are about like $1,000 each, aren't they? Ridiculous amount of money. And Matt says that windshield, he says, was way overpriced. That surprises me. I would have thought that would be like $20, $30 perhaps, but maybe not. Oh, nice. The next mic I'm getting, Sammy says, is the U87. Sammy, that's the Neumann, isn't it? Neumann U87. It's a bit of a staple in the voiceover world. A lot of voiceover artists are using that particular brand of mic, and it's just very expensive, but apparently it sounds like a dream. Matt says, thanks for keeping the stream going despite camera tripod issues. Well, these things are sent to try us, and no doubt this will be in the blooper reel. Yeah, Sammy says $3,000. $3,000 for a Neumann's mic. That is outrageous. That is absolutely outrageous. For my Marshall, which I do the majority of my voiceovers on, I paid 150 UK pounds. And that was 20 years ago. And it served me wonderful. I mean, this is a great mic, by the way. It's cheap. It's a cheaper mic. It's only about $80 odd, or, 80 odd pounds, but it does the job and it sounds really good. And I've got some processing on the desk as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so that's about it, I think. Or the Worm Audio mic, says Sammy. Don't know that one. Worm Audio mic. See, all of these things, you see, you're way ahead of me. And the good thing about it is that, this particular channel is all about audio production for beginners. And, even I'm learning stuff as I go along. This is not just me being an expert showing you how to do things on audio. This is about you guys interacting and letting me know about stuff that's out there. Rich says, thank you. Love the shows. Rich, you are very welcome. And make sure that you send me a reminder next weekend when you're going live so I can join your stream, won't you? All right. Let's have a look. What else we got here? You know what? That's pretty much it. I think we are at the end of the line. Warm Audio. Oh, not Worm. Warm Audio. WA251 says Sammy. Thank you for the clarification on that. That's brilliant. All right. So look, I'm going to say cheerio, but thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, if you want to subscribe, that's very easy. Just make sure you click the subscribe button if you're not already. I know that most of you guys on here are, which is fantastic, but if you're watching at the moment and you're not subscribed, make sure you click that and click the bell as well. You get reminders of when we go live. We go live each and every Monday night at 8 p.m. UK time. Rich says, would love to know more about microphone settings. Maybe we'll do that next week. Should we do that next week? Give us a thumbs up or a yes in the comments if you'd like that. What we'll do is we'll do a deep dive into the mixing desk and the settings that I've got on this particular channel. Just give us a yes. if you'd like us to do that. Maybe next week will be a and I can get an overhead camera with this mounted above the desk, so we can see what's going on the desk. So yeah, give us a thumbs up if that's what you'd like us to do next week. That'll be a cool thing for me to explore as well. I can play with it all week then, and have something ready for you by next Monday if that's what you'd like. We could look into microphone settings, couldn't we? Rich says he's quite green on these things. No, not at all, mate. I mean, looking at your stream, it was really good quality, and we talked a bit about. I'm gonna blaspheme here a bit. We call it this. We call fader wanking, but yeah, okay. So Rich wants some tutorials and kind of things going through mixing settings, microphone settings in particular. Yeah, that'll be fine. What we'll do is we'll play around with a few settings, and you can actually listen to it on headphones perhaps, or some decent speakers, and you'll be able to hear the changes in audio, won't you? All right. Listen, guys, I think we'll leave it there, but thank you so much once again. Thanks for leaving all the comments. Spread the word. If you know of anybody that's interested in audio production and they'd like to come on board and watch the stream, then we'd love to see them, and of course spread the word so that I can get to my 100 subscribers. I'm currently up to about 74, which is amazing, considering like Sammy said 2 or 3 months ago I was at 20, which is brilliant. Sammy says, did I buy everything from LSP? No, I didn't. I bought the subscribe button and the pips that I've got, the overlays, like this one, was part of the training. And I am subscribed to the training, so yeah, kind of I did buy that really. This was made by Robert Lee. Can you hear that rain? It's just started to hammer it down with rain here. You can support me on Patreon, by the way, as well. Patreon.com/Love Audio Production. Get yourself on there and help the channel. Rich says, like my Mixcloud, slowly getting more subs. Brilliant. Absolutely. And that's all it's about, isn't it? It starts really slowly, and then all of a sudden it'll start taking off, and it's all about content at the end of the day. So I'm interested in hearing what you'd like me to cover as well. It's not just about me, it's about what you'd like to kind of learn as well. So we'll do that. I'll make a note of it straight after the show, and we'll do the mix thing with the microphones next week. How does that sound? Yeah, pretty cool. All right, listen guys, it's been great hanging out with you. Take care, look after each other. Not gonna work, is it? Here we go. Yeah, look after each other, and stay safe. We'll join you on the stream next Monday. If you've got a channel you want me to watch, you've got something going live and you'd like me to watch that, make sure you drop me a line in the comments and I'll pick up on that, or drop me an email. My website address is loveaudio.co.uk, and that's got all my social media links on there as well. All right. So yeah, look after each other, stay safe, see you soon.